Okay, cool, making sure. Well, hi everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend some time with me and learn how to master handmade volume fans. And this is your perfect guide to create the lash fans. So thank you so much. I want to start by introducing myself. My name is Carina. I've been licensed since 2022, and I actually am certified now in everything with Sugar Lash Pro. I have certified teacher assistant experience in the classroom, and I'm actually currently enrolled in my bachelor's program for education. So both of my worlds have come together, now teaching lashes. My passion actually started back when I was about 5 or 6. I was about, yeah, 5 or 6. And I started cheer and dance. And I would always put on these like dramatic lashes when I would perform or do little stuff. And I swear they were my alter ego, sorry. And I kept thinking to myself, if I feel this confident with lashes, I would love to do that for somebody else. So right after, at the end of 2021 is when I enrolled and I graduated in 2022. And I actually graduated top of my class in the University of Culinary Arts and Science here in McAllen, Texas. And I always joke about this because when we had open enrollment and there was 10 of us that actually joined to enroll in school, and I was actually the only one that actually graduated. So it's a little joke that I always say I was #1 in my class. I am a lash artist here in McAllen, so I do have my own little studio, and I usually work Friday and Saturdays, and those are just the most times that I'm there. I joined Sugar Lash Pro back in January of 2025, and my first training was actually in Atlanta, Georgia with Ogle. After I got back in March, oh, that was in February. In March, I ended up doing a tour around Texas, and I was able to go and speak to all these students and do presentations, and that was so fun. I actually went to 9 Ogle locations here in Texas. So I've been to all of them, all 10. Today, we're going to learn a variety of things. Of course, our main focus is handmade fans, but I want to talk about the difference between classic and volume, products, lash theory, how to wrap the fan, lash placement, and different techniques. There's a lot more like common mistakes and how to fix them, practice tips, client retention, volume kit, volume course, and of course, a Q&A and upcoming webinars. At any point, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So classic and a volume, right? So our classic is going to be our 0.10s, 0.12s, 0.15s, 0.18s. And then we have our volume that would be 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. Now, before I keep going, I wanted to ask, are we team classic or are we team volume? I'd love to know everyone's opinion, if we're more of a classic girly, if we're more of a volume girly. I personally don't think I have a #1. Ooh, volume, both, yes. I think I love both for so many different reasons. But prefer classic, natural volume. Ooh, see, natural volume and classic, like it's just like both worlds meet together. It's not too much and not too little. So I love these opinions. Thank you. So we all start somewhere. Okay, this picture is back from 2022. This was right when I graduated. And of course, you can see it's a little scattered. There's chunky bases, uneven bases. There's no symmetry to most of them. Now that I know what I know now, with the experience that I've learned, looking at this picture is rewarding, I guess I could say. And it's very messy. I do stare at this closed fan that we have in the inner corner in the middle, and I do see the gaps, and I'm actually really happy where I am now, right? So these are just the small things that I now noticed that I didn't notice then, but I'm glad I do now. So I did these side by sides. Of course, we have a correct fan. It's symmetrical. It's a perfect fan in my eyes. And then, of course, we have the right one. We have that chunky base I was talking about, the twisted lashes. I probably, back in 2022, probably would have placed that other fan. I'd hope not. But I did want to show you what correct fan and incorrect fan would be. So as you can see, the first one has that perfect skinny base. That is going to be perfect for your client, not to bother her or him, bother their inner eyelid or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure that second fan would absolutely give you some improper placement. This is my client, a before and after. I wanted to show how I added that bit of drama to her eyes. She has incredible, gorgeous green eyes with hints of brown. So I was able just to enhance her eye shape and really give her that lift. Now, my client here actually has less lashes on her left eye. So I actually added some lighter dimensions of 0.03s to make that a little bit of mega volume fan, just so we can go ahead and even out both of her eyes. But that's the best thing about doing handmade fans. You can adjust them as you need to for your clients. So what are volume fans? Handmade volume fans are custom created groups between 2 to 6 individual eyelash extensions that are manually fanned out and applied by a lash artist to a single natural lash using a specialized technique and ultra lightweight lashes. These are the tools you will need. So your preferred isolation, your preferred volume tweezer, your preferred lashes, volume assisting tools like a sticky dot. I'll talk about that in the sticky dot method, volume cups, adhesive film, lash tiles, lash adhesive of your choice. But did you know there's about 10 different volume techniques? I'm going to be sharing 3 techniques, and I'm going to show you my favorite one. So we have this incredible chart here, and this is all about lash diameters and safe of volume. I actually got this chart from our volume course, which I find very beneficial because I don't have to guess. I don't have to feel like I'm not, like I'm guessing, or maybe I'm going to be using something that's going to hurt my clients' natural lashes, because of course we want to make sure they have healthy natural lashes. So your fan sizes would be 2D to 60. They're lightweight, safe, and for the natural lashes. So here we have our chart. So we have our 4D. We can do 4 times the 0.7s, and it will give us our 13 millimeters, and depending on the size. But this chart is so fantastic because you will know what to use for your fine lashes, your medium lashes, and your coarse lashes. So instead of guessing and ending up with some droopy, hurt natural lashes, you have this to look forward to always go back and look at. So I did get these off of, like I said, our volume course, and I wanted to really show you a visual, because if I was to show you a picture of me doing it, you wouldn't really be able to see what I'm trying to tell you. So these were absolutely perfect. So here on the left side, we have an incorrect bond. As you can see, there is a gap of those lash extensions not even touching the natural lash. This is going to cause discomfort for your client, and it's going to pop off the natural lash, which means your retention is going to suffer. We always want to make sure that all of the lash extensions are wrapping correctly around the base of the natural lash. Now, lash placement. You always want to be 0.5 millimeters away from the eyelid. So like the base, just make sure you have about 0.5 millimeters of a gap. You don't want to touch the actual eye, and you don't want it too far, because if you put it too far, they might grow, and maybe within a week or 2, they're already going to be twisting and turning because of the weight, how it's already too far. And that's just causing you more time to fix something that could have been placed correctly the first time. This is the lonely fan. Now, this is my personal favorite technique, and I wanted to record from this top view so you can actually see what my hands are doing. As you can see, I pull a little bit of the lashes forward, but not completely off the strip, and I kind of use a violin motion to separate the lashes. Once I see them fan out, I'll apply full pressure and pull directly towards me. You don't want to pull up, you don't want to pull to the side, because that will make the lashes just disperse. They're not going to be fanned out anymore. And as you can see in this picture, or in this video, I actually use the volume cup to re-secure the base. Now, because I am showing this as an example, I didn't scoop the adhesive, but if you were going to go straight from your strip lash to the adhesive, go ahead and scoop the adhesive, and then you can place it into natural lash. And that's when you would go ahead and check your placement and make sure you are wrapping the fan correctly. I'm just going to go ahead and show you one last time. I always love my volume fan cuts as well, because it really has that little V on the edge of the cups, and then it will reinforce that base. Perfect. Now, this is sticky dot method. Now, here is a little bit different. Of course, I did it in the top view, and I feel like this is the way I started when I first started. I wanted something a little bit more easier for me. So what you do is you grab your lashes, you place them on the sticky dot, you separate and arrange them, and then you scoop adhesive like I mentioned last time. Now, the pro tip with this is usually using your tweezer angle, your pressure, and your timing just to pick them up correctly. Now, what are sticky dots? Sticky dots are just these disposable items that you can replace after every service. You can get them on Amazon. And then remember, don't use always use cotton-free tools in your sets. You don't ever want to, if you use cotton with adhesive, it could cause fire. So don't do that. But I actually got these on Amazon. They were a few bucks. I think it's very beginner friendly to do. Now, as you can see, this is real life time of me making that fan. So it does take a little longer. And there's the fan. And of course, guys, you can always go back and rewatch this webinar if you needed. So that's your 4D fan. And then we have on the strip. And this is where I switched out my glue. I do switch out my glue every 15, 20 minutes, depending on my humidity and how my glue is working. And then, so this is my adhesive fill. So I grab the lashes, I put them on the strip, and then I use the tip of my tweezer to separate the lashes. With full pressure on your tweezer, you pull directly towards you again. So then here I did a little 3D. And then you place on your natural lash. I think this is also an other beginner-friendly method. The Lonely Fan did take a practice to get, but as long as you practice, you'll definitely get it. Practice makes perfect. So while you are learning and practicing, of course, I want you to add some services to your menu, which we at Sugar Lash Pro have the incredible Volume X, which is our secret to show-stopping sets in a fraction of the time. Now, I know doing lashes by hand take a little bit more time and more patience. So while you are perfecting your craft, you can absolutely use these pre-made fans. And they are so perfect, honestly, that when I was learning how to master my time, I would use my Volume X fans. And I think they're absolutely perfect because they're like just perfectly placed. The base is perfect. I've never have had retention issues with them as well. So this is another alternative while you are perfecting your craft. Now, the common mistakes and fixes. Fans close up. It's true. The glue can go all the way up. Your adhesive can cause it to close completely. So I have a little visual here. Your uneven bases, twisting lashes, maybe the lack of your tweezer control can make them come apart. But I do have a secret weapon. Well, I don't. Sugar Lash has a secret weapon that has helped me since 2022. Is control. Control is phenomenal. It's going to help that glue stay on the base and not rise all the way up to close your fan. So you go ahead and use a micro swab and you just graze it on the base of the lashes and you're ready to go. I mean, it helps me make fans spread out like butter. It is incredible. Now, practice makes perfect. I remember when in 2022, I would watch TV and I would bring out my tweezers and my tile and I would just be making fans. I love watching cooking shows. I don't know, is anyone else guilty watching cooking shows? I don't make anything from the cooking shows, but I watch them a lot. So I would get my palette and I would just practice, and I would put them on a sponge because it'd be a lot easier for me just to keep track of them because I would see the white bottom. And then I would use a timer. So I would be like, okay, I'm going to practice for 30 minutes. And so I would put my timer on and I'm just watching TV. And by the time you know it, you're making so many fans and your hands are getting that repetition that they need to make that fan. And then you can track your progress. So the first time I ever attempted volume fans by hand, I think my lash set was like maybe close to 5 hours. And I'm being so honest, it's insane. I know 5 hours sounds crazy, and I totally agree it is crazy. But shout out to my best friend because she actually made there for that time. She did take breaks, right? But It is very hard to be like, oh, I got this. And then you go and you're a client and you're like, wow, we've been here forever. I'm separating each lash. I'm putting on these extensions. So practice makes perfect. And now I'm about 3 hours with your consultation. So I always book an extra 30 minutes for consultations just so we can make sure we're on the same page. Now, client retention and fan longevity. Sorry. Proper fan creation is better retention. So if you are making fans that are not holding together, or if you are making a fan that has like a longer uneven base, maybe one's longer than the actual base, this could cause irritation for your client. And that's the last thing we want to do. So making sure that our proper fan is created perfectly will go ahead and give you that long retention. The importance of wrapping the base, of course, and then matching your glue and technique. So I'm from South Texas and it is humid. It is the most humid it could ever be. Like you walk outside and your hair is crazy because it's just so humid here. So I personally love our signature bond because it always has my back. I don't have to guess about the humidity about it. It just always works because of the great range it has. So matching the glue technique is what I do. So I do love our Bonjour, but there is times that it's too humid that I cannot keep up with that adhesive. So when I use the signature bond, I'm able to, if it's a 1.1 to 2 second adhesive. So me just grabbing, making that fan and dipping it into that, I'm within that 1 to 2 seconds already placing it onto that lash. So that helps me so much. And these are my everyday personal favorites. Our primer to make sure we get rid of all that pH balance on the natural lashes. I always double cleanse because a lot of my clients are skin care enthusiasts, which I love. But I also want to make sure I don't have anything lingering still on the eye. So that also I've noticed helps my retention. The finishing spray is perfect. It's going to go ahead and help that curing of the bond, but also refresh your client's face. And I think it's a very amazing added moment you can do for your client. It might seem like a little bit extra, but I think that's what all clients deserve. Our curator is going to cure the bonds like this. I put it on with a microfiber, I fan a little bit, and then boom, it's done. Of course, we talked about control, and then we have our gel remover. All of these working together side by side, because they're created to work side by side, will always help your retention. Now, I did go online and I was like, how can I show everyone what they could get? And what I love so much about Sugar Lash Pro is the kits. It has everything you need to start your clients. Like right now, like if you gave me this kit, it'd be perfect for 10 sets. So with this kit, you have your tray of lashes, your volume and isolation tweezers, your signature bond adhesive, your primer, your gel remover, eye pads, lash tile, your paper tape, and mascara wands. This mini volume kit is perfect for 10 sets. So if you could just grab one thing and it has everything you need, perfect, right? We also do have our medium volume kits. Now, this one is perfect for 20 sets. It's going to have your 2 trays of lashes this time, your volume and your isolation tweezer, your adhesive, your primer, and your gel remover, your foaming cleanser, eye pads, lash tile, paper tape, cleansing brush, block applicators, mascara wand. So like I said, everything you need in one kit. And then we actually have my personal favorite, which is the kit I purchased years ago when I first started, because I just love like when everything is all together. I don't have to second guess it. I don't have to think about it. It's just one perfect kit ready for me. So this is our full volume lash kit. It has your plush. You have 2 plush trays, one in C and one in CC, and your runway. So our plush is personally my favorite lashes because they're real fluffy and light. But of course, the runway are perfect for that dramatic boldness. We also have our volume tweezer, isolation tweezer, the signature bond, primer, gel remover, finishing spray that I mentioned earlier, our cleansing brush, our cleansing base, eye pads, rinse bottle, paper tape, lash tile, and mascara wands and blocked applicators. So this kit is actually perfect for 30 sets. Isn't that amazing? Like you start a business and then like you're ready for your clients, and then boom, you don't have to worry about the next 30 sets. And I think that's the best part. And I don't know if you know this, but our lashes have from 5 millimeter to 60 millimeters in that kit. So you can use these lashes for absolutely everyone, for mature clients or young clients. It all depends on what they're looking for. Now, the volume online course. Like I mentioned earlier, I am certified in all the courses of Sugar Lash Pro, and I'm very happy to say that I've earned them. Here at Sugar Lash Pro, you actually have to do some coursework, and then you would be assisted by one of our certification team to get approved for your certificate. So I think that's so cool to say that you took a class and you actually earned it. Like I have to be judged or critiqued to get my certificate. I love that. I love to say that. And so this course is actually developed by professional artists. They're taught by skilled educators, and you actually have the lifetime access of your Sugar Lash Pro course. Now, that's my favorite part. I absolutely love that I have all my manuals on my iPad. If I need to think about something, or maybe I'm second guessing what I should use on a certain client, I can just go back on my iPad and just look through it. And I love that. I love the thought of that process because as a mom, I do not have the time to stop and take these like courses throughout the day or stuff. And I have done other courses, but I always felt like I didn't really earn my certificate because I just showed up, right? And at the end of the day, they gave it to me. And I was like, yeah, I think I learned something. But like with Sugar Lash Pro, I have never second guessed what I've learned. I'm always amazed with how much I learn. But also with your Sugar Lash Pro courses, you actually get your startup documents like your client waivers and like file sheets. They're actually included in your course. Now, I don't know if you know this or if you've seen, but right now we do have a course sale. All our courses are $199, like 200 bucks, 199. Like the perfect time for this webinar because it is regularly priced at $375. Amazing. I'm amazed. These are my top 4 products. We do have my favorite volume tweezer that it is a V65. Now, a lot of our products are so hot and sometimes they sell out so fast. Like they are always just sold out, sold out, sold out. So this one is actually sold out, but I did want to mention that the V Pro is my second favorite tweezer and it is in stock. And then I did put my signature bond, our plush lashes, like I mentioned earlier. I love the different sizes, 5 to 16, perfect for every client. And of course, my eye pro. The way it is shaped for the bridge of the eye is phenomenal. It gets me in every inside or outside for your lashes. Now you can ask me absolutely anything. And I just want to mention that it is not how you start, it's how you finish. Like we saw earlier, my 2022 set was a little crazy compared to my now in 2025. So if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat and I would be very honored to answer them.
Looks like we don't have any questions. I think it's because you already answered all of them.
Okay, well, I'll keep going then. But if you do, you can always message me as well. These are upcoming webinars. So we have the amazing Tammy going to show us the exceptional classic lash retention. I'm actually so excited. I'm going to be glued to my seat, my screen for this, and because who doesn't want to unlock all the secrets for the perfect retention for classic? I know I do. Besides our webinar, that's going to be on August 26th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And then we also do have another webinar in September. It's going to be September 8th. It's going to be hosted by me again. It's going to be a certification webinar. I want you to join me for an in-depth webinar covering everything you need to know about getting certified through Sugar Lash Pro. I'll be sharing my insights and my own certification journey along with the tips and guidance to help you succeed. In this session, we're going to cover my personal experience of becoming certified in all of Sugar Lash Pro courses, what it requires to get certified, a step-by-step overview of the certification process, and I'm going to answer any questions that you may have about the training, the testing, and beyond. Now, whether you're just looking to start or you've already want to expand your skills, this webinar is your guide to get those questions and everything out of the way so you can get certified with confidence. I don't want anyone second guessing it because I do get a few people that message me about certification, and I think this is a great webinar to go ahead and share all that insight with you. So make sure to register, and the way you register is by going to sugarlashpro.com. You're going to go ahead and reach over to the toggle bar where it says education, and then you click your upcoming webinars. You look through the webinars you want to sign up for, and then you register just like you did with this webinar. And it's going to be at 12 p.m. Central Time. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me. I hope I was able to give you a little bit of insight of how to make that perfect fan. You can follow me on my socials on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Cosmic Wink Lashes. My email is Carina@sugarlashpro.com. And then you can also use my discount code for Carina15 for 15% off at Sugar Lash Pro. I love me a discount, so make sure to use those. And then if you guys could all do me a huge favor, we'd love your feedback. If you could scan this QR code and give us some feedback and maybe some insight of what you would love to see in the future, we'd love to look at all that and make sure we are doing everything we can to make sure our webinars are hitting any thought process that you have, or maybe you have an idea that you would love to watch, or maybe something else. I think we would love to hear about that. Thanks, everyone. Should you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. I'm going to leave that QR code so you guys can scan it. I hope I was a little bit helpful.